I never thought I'd be writing about something like this, but here I am at 35, trying to make sense of what happened in the last few days. My whole world turned upside down in a matter of hours, and I still can't believe how things ended up this way. I'm a pediatrician, and that's how I met my girlfriend 3 years ago. She brought her younger sister in for a checkup, and what should have been a quick appointment turned into an hour-long conversation. She was new to Seattle, trying to figure out the city, and somehow we just clicked. Before her, I was that guy who couldn't settle down. My friends had given up on setting me up on dates, and I was starting to think maybe the single life was my destiny. She was different, though. She had this energy about her that drew people in, and before I knew it, I was completely in love. She was finishing up her MBA when we met, and we moved in together about a year ago. Money wasn't an issue since my practice was doing well, so I told her to take her time finding the right job. I just wanted her to focus on her career goals without worrying about rent or bills. There was only one small cloud in our otherwise perfect relationship, her childhood friend Mark. They grew up together in Portland, and while I tried to be cool about their friendship, something about it always bothered me. He'd visit every few months, and despite my attempts to be friendly, he always seemed to have this wall up. My girlfriend would say he's just protective of her, but it felt more like he wished I wasn't in the picture. Last Monday, everything changed. She called to tell me she finally got the marketing job she'd been interviewing for. I was so excited for her that I decided to surprise her. I left the clinic early, picked up her favorite Thai food, got some wine, and even brought out the silver bracelet I'd been hiding for weeks. It was something she'd spotted at a local market, with these little elephant charms that she loved. I came in through the garage to get the bracelet from my workshop downstairs. That's when I heard her laughing upstairs. She was on the phone, and normally I wouldn't eavesdrop, but she sounded so happy that I paused for a moment. Then I realized she was talking to Mark, and what I heard next made my stomach drop. She was making fun of me. Not just light teasing, but cruel, humiliating jokes about our private life. She was comparing me to her ex, lying about things that weren't even true, and laughing about it. She even joked about my intelligence, saying I was cute but simple, which was ridiculous considering I'd worked my way through medical school and built my own practice. I left quietly, drove to a park, and sat there for hours. The food got cold, the wine stayed unopened, and that bracelet felt like it was burning a hole in my pocket. She texted me several times asking when I'd be home, but I couldn't bring myself to respond properly. For the next few days, I went through the motions at work, trying to process everything. Here was someone I thought I knew completely, someone I was planning to propose to in the next few months, and it turned out I didn't really know her at all. How do you handle finding out that the person you love has been mocking you behind your back with someone who clearly wants more than friendship with them? My sister Kate, who's always been my voice of reason, told me I needed to confront the situation head-on. She was right, of course, but the thought of facing my girlfriend and admitting I'd heard everything made me feel sick to my stomach. Still, I knew I couldn't just pretend everything was fine. So I made a plan. I decided to take her to this small wine bar downtown where we had our first date. I figured a public place would keep things civil, but the private booths would give us enough privacy to talk. I wanted to handle this with dignity, even though inside I felt like my world was falling apart. She dressed up for our dinner, wearing the blue dress I got her for her birthday. She kept trying to hold my hand across the table, talking about our plans for the weekend. I barely heard what she was saying. All I could think about was what I'd heard her say to Mark. After we got our drinks, I started talking. I told her how much she meant to me, how I'd never felt this way about anyone before her, how I'd even started looking at rings. She kept trying to interrupt, saying she loved me too, but I needed to get everything out. Finally, I asked her directly why she'd said those horrible things about me to Mark. At first, she acted confused, like she had no idea what I was talking about. When I told her I'd heard her conversation on Monday, she still tried to deny it. It was like watching someone perform a play. If I hadn't heard it myself, I might have believed her. I would never say anything like that about you, she insisted, reaching for my hand. Mark knows how much I love you. Why would I make fun of you to him? I just looked at her, waiting. She kept denying everything, even after I explained exactly what I'd heard. She switched between telling me I must have misunderstood and claiming she'd never had that conversation at all. It was exhausting. Finally, I told her it was over. I said I'd have my brother at the house while she packed her essential things, and she could get the rest of her stuff later. That's when everything changed. First came the tears. She kept asking where she was supposed to go, what she was supposed to do. I reminded her that she had plenty of friends she could stay with, and now she had a job too. Then she said something that made everything even worse. She claimed she only said those things to Mark because he brings out a different side of her, and sometimes it's easier to laugh about things than cry about them. That was it for me. I told her she could go back to Portland to Mark or her ex. I didn't care anymore. Suddenly, the tears stopped. She started yelling about how I was a terrible boyfriend, how she never really loved me, how she would have said no if I'd proposed. She kept bringing up everything she'd said to Mark, throwing it in my face. But this time she wasn't laughing. Then she started screaming. Not words, just screaming. We were in a public place, and people were staring. She ran outside, and even though I was hurt and angry, I couldn't just leave her there in the cold. I offered to drive her back to get her things, but told her she needed to find somewhere else to stay. The ride home was silent. My brother was waiting outside when we got there, and his wife stayed inside while my girlfriend packed a bag. One of her friends came to pick her up, and I thought that would be the end of it. That night, the texts started coming. First, she was sorry. Then she was sad. Then she was angry. Then she was furious. I didn't respond to any of them. The next morning, I let her know her remaining things were packed and on the porch, and she could pick them up while I was at work. I should have known it wouldn't be that simple. When I got home from work, I walked into a nightmare. Somehow she'd gotten into the house. Maybe she had made a copy of the key without telling me. Everything was destroyed. She'd smashed my family photos, ripped up the furniture, clogged the sinks and left the water running, and thrown food everywhere. She'd even broken into my work SUV and poured soup and flour all over the inside. The only thing she did right was putting my dogs in the bedroom so they wouldn't get hurt. At least she had that much sense left. Just a week ago, we were having game nights with friends and planning our future. Now my house was trashed, my car was ruined, and the woman I thought I was going to marry had shown herself to be someone I didn't know at all. I was angry, so angry that I did something childish. I ordered a huge amount of small carrots to be delivered to her friend's house where she was staying. It was petty, I know, but after what she'd done to my house, I felt like I deserved one small act of revenge. She sent me more nasty texts after that, and I finally blocked her number. I filed a police report about the damage to my house and car, but they said it would be hard to prove it was her without witnesses. My insurance would cover most of it, but that wasn't really the point. Update. It's been a few days now, and I've had time to think about everything. My friends keep telling me I dodged a bullet, and I know they're right, but it still hurts. When you spend 3 years with someone, planning a future together, it's not easy to just switch off those feelings. I've been thinking about our relationship, trying to figure out if I missed any warning signs. I work long hours at the clinic, and sometimes I bring that stress home with me. We had arguments about it before. She'd tell me she felt like my job came first. I tried to make changes, try to leave work at work, but being a pediatrician means sometimes getting calls at odd hours or having to deal with emergencies. But even with all that, I don't think I was a bad boyfriend. Sure, I wasn't perfect. Sometimes I was tired or distracted, and maybe I didn't always give her the attention she wanted. But I supported her while she finished school, encouraged her career goals, and tried to be there for her whenever she needed me. My friend Tom came over yesterday to help me clean up the mess in the house. While we were working, he told me something interesting. Apparently, his wife had always felt something was off about my girlfriend's friendship with Mark. She noticed how Mark would make little comments that put me down, and how my girlfriend would laugh instead of defending me. I guess sometimes other people can see things more clearly than we can. The hardest part isn't the damaged property, or even the humiliation of knowing what she said about me. It's realizing that the person I trusted most was living a double life, being loving and supportive to my face while mocking me behind my back. I keep thinking about all our moments together, wondering if they were real or if she was just pretending the whole time. My sister Kate says I need to stop analyzing everything and just accept that some people aren't who they pretend to be. She's probably right. Kate's always been straight with me, even when I don't want to hear it. She reminded me that someone who really loves you wouldn't tear you down to others, especially not to someone like Mark. The clinic has been keeping me busy, which helps. Kids have a way of putting things in perspective. Yesterday, one of my young patients asked me why I looked sad, and I told her sometimes grown-ups get sad too. She gave me a sticker from her collection and told me it always makes her feel better. It was a simple thing, but it made me smile for the first time in days. I'm not going to lie, this whole thing has shaken my confidence. Not about my appearance or intelligence, or any of the things she made fun of. I know who I am, and I'm okay with myself, but my confidence in my judgment has taken a hit. How did I not see this coming? How did I miss the signs that she wasn't who I thought she was? My brother says that's normal, but I shouldn't let one person's actions change how I trust people. He's right. I can't let this experience make me bitter or suspicious of everyone. That's not who I am, and I won't let this situation change that about me. I've started cleaning out the house, getting rid of anything that reminds me of her. It's surprising how many little things can bring back memories. a coffee mug she always used, pictures on my phone, the takeout menus from her favorite places. Each thing I throw away or delete feels like closing another chapter of this story. The police called yesterday about my report. Like I expected, they said there isn't much they can do without solid proof. The insurance company will cover most of the damage, so I'm just going to focus on moving forward. Getting into a legal battle with her would just mean keeping her in my life longer, and that's the last thing I want. Some of my friends suggested I should start dating again soon. Get back on the horse, as they say. But I'm not ready for that. Right now, I need to focus on myself, my work, and rebuilding my life without her in it. Maybe in time I'll be ready to trust someone again, but for now, I'm okay being on my own. Looking back, I'm glad I found out who she really was before we got married or had kids. Yes, my house got trashed and my car got ruined, but those are just things. They can be replaced or repaired. What can't be fixed is a relationship built on lies and disrespect. I deserve better than that. Everyone does. I don't know what the future holds, but I know I'll be okay. This experience has taught me a lot about myself and about the kind of person I want to share my life with. When I do start dating again, I'll be looking for someone who's genuine, someone who shows the same face to everyone, not just to me. Most importantly, I'll be looking for someone who knows that real love isn't about tearing people down when they're not around. For now, though, I'm focusing on healing and moving forward, one day at a time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with friends or family who might enjoy it too. Your support means a lot. And if you have any thoughts, questions, or story ideas, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.